Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 27th of November 2023, and I wish you like the Guru Parv or Guru Nanak Jayanti on 27th of November. Like everyone who is from the Sikh community, they are celebrating it, and downstairs also like people are celebrating this thing. So now let us quickly understand the articles that we are going to cover in today's newspaper analysis. So these are the list of articles that we have selected to discuss with you. These are some of the most important articles from the newspaper, right? So we are going to discuss about these articles one by one. Today I have not taken a mapping topic because there was no mapping related issue there. Although I could have identified, but let's discuss the topics now directly. So the first article of the day, which is, it says old censorship on a new medium. Now we are going to understand through this article that in this article the authors have discussed about the tunnel issue that is happening. So in Uttarakhand, right, in one of the tunnel that was being built in a mountain, right, through the mountain it was passing, 41 persons are stranded. These people are stranded for more than 12 days there. So rescue efforts are being done, but it may take more than a week, more than a week still to, let's say, recover them. So rescue effort is going on, and here the author is discussing about, let's say, we are going through old censorship but on a new medium. So this author actually clubs many things together. So we are going to discuss about what are the issues that the author is discussing in this article. So name of the topic 1, it says old censorship on a new medium. So let's discuss about this topic. What is the context, how the author wants to, let's say, put the things forward. So as we know, as we discussed just now, that in Uttarakhand there is a tunnel, and this particular tunnel is going let's say being built to connect people for Char Dham Yatra. What? For Char Dham Yatra. So government of India, the central government, has initiated something which is known as Char Dham Yatra, and for this the central government is creating all weather roads, right? They're creating all weather roads, and it is known as Silkaira tunnel. Name of the tunnel that we are going to discuss is Silkaira tunnel. Silkaira tunnel. This tunnel is important because on this tunnel, right, on this tunnel about 41 people are still stranded. So rescue efforts are being done. Let's say various government authorities are trying to, let's say, bring these people out of tunnel. But the larger question arises that if government of India has undertaken a project like this, right, have they gone through the environmental impact assessment of the let's say projects that they are building, and which companies are involved in this particular thing? I mean, over here the discussion that is missing is who is liable for the damages that are being done in the Himalayan region, and why a debate has not yet arisen, right? In the TV channels the narrative seems to be just one-sided. As of now, in the beginning, most of the TV channels did not start a discussion on this particular topic for a long time, but later on they have just focused their narratives towards rescue effort. But the other side of this story is before taking up this project, has there been an environmental impact assessment, right? Which companies are doing this particular project? Are they liable for the damages that are being done in the let's say ecologically sensitive area in the Himalayan region, and which organization or authority has cleared this particular project in that region? So this kind of narrative is missing. So what the author is saying, that recently the government of India has come up with a new bill The new bill is known as, the new bill that the government of India has recently initiated, it is known as Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill 2023. It is Broadcasting Services Regulatory, okay, Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill, Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill 2023, Regulation Bill of 2023. So what is the, let's say, what are the things that are proposed in this particular bill? To understand this factor, we need to understand about another act that is in place, which is known as IT, Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Social Media Ethics Code Amendment Rules. So we can say IT Amendment Rules 2021. So through IT Amendment Rules of 2021, the government of India wanted to, let's say, have more control over the social media platforms. They wanted to have more control over the social media platforms, but the IT Amendment Rules have been challenged. It has been challenged in Bombay High Court and Madras High Court, right? It had been challenged in Bombay High Court and Madras High Court. So the thing is, Bombay High Court and Madras High Court, they have given a judgment on this. And Bombay High Court and Madras High Court said that this is, let's say, this is not feasible at this point of time. So basically they have nullified this particular thing. So after this, the government of India has come up with a new thing, which is government of India has created something which is known as Fact Check Unit, right? They have created Fact Check Unit. So this Fact Check Unit will work under the Press Information Bureau. What is the role of the Fact Check Unit? To check whether the information that is available on the internet space related to central government, whether those information are misleading or they are, let's say, disinformation, or they are fake, right? So based on that, the Fact Check Unit may ask that particular intermediary to remove the content. However, it is also challenged in Bombay High Court. It is also challenged in Bombay High Court, and Bombay High Court is going to give a judgment on this particular issue on 1st of December, right? It is going to give our judgment on December 2023, someday in December. Now this is, let's say, so that's why the government of India has not notified the creation of this particular Fact Check Unit yet. So Bombay High Court has also taken an undertaking from the government that till we give a judgment, you don't need to, right? Here, like in the affidavit, you mention that you are not going to notify creation of a Fact Check Unit. So that's why Fact Check Unit is in a, let's say, holding status. So it is, let's say, under hold now. Now, recently the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and Ministry of Broadcasting especially. So the minister of this particular ministry, Ministry of Broadcasting, has come up with this Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill 2023. This particular bill seeks to, right? It seeks to regulate the internet space. How it seeks to regulate the internet space? Basically, the Press Information Bureau, in its one of the article, it says that earlier we had the cable TV networks, but that time the cable TV networks was being accessed by most of the people in the country. So we had that particular act, but now the space of broadcasting has shifted. Since the space of broadcasting has shifted, now most of the people are accessing the things through YouTube. They're accessing through, let's say, OTT platforms and all. So they have come up with a new bill, which is Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill. Through this bill, they are going to have a regulation for all the newer mediums of broadcasting. But this bill does not only regulate the, let's say, broadcasters, it also regulates the individual content creators and all. Whosoever is, let's say, commenting on the current affairs, means like anyone who is saying something on current affairs, they will also be regulated through the Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill. So the author in this article says that we are doing the censorship, the old censorship we are doing, but like we are doing in a new medium. So author says that this particular broadcasting services regulation bill also has many provisions that are, let's say, not good for the, let's say, upcoming generation. It is not good for the internet space. Here the author says that government of India tries to dictate what kind of programs can be run, what kind of programs cannot be run. For that, they have come up with something which is known as program code. What? They have come up with something which is known as program code. And as part of program code, they have mentioned few keywords. The keywords is they have mentioned that there should not be any program which offends good taste or decency. Okay, there should not be any program which offends what? Which offends good taste or decency. But the thing is, the keywords good taste and decency, right, are not defined. These are very vague terms, these are broad terms. So author over here says that it became codified, means like earlier the government of India came up with the Cable Television Networks Amendment Rules 2021 based on the empirical qualitative assessment. So government of India wanted to have self-regulatory mechanism for the social media. But the thing is, government of India has also created a big level body. The name of the body was the Ministerial Committee. The Ministerial Committee generally has the bureaucrats in it. The bureaucrats are going to take the side of the government. It is not a representative body. It does not have members from the, let's say, from the industry, members from the social media organizations like Facebook, Netflix. They do not have their presence over here. And also it does not have members from the entertainment industry as well. So it is a, let's say, skewed body. I would say it has only the presence of bureaucrats. So when it has only presence of bureaucrats, it is always going to take the side of the government. What is the narrative of the government? So here the author criticizes that the interministerial body that the government of India has created earlier, that body is, let's say, not representative enough to showcase the view of the, let's say, of other persons, right? So here the government of India has initially thought of, after the interministerial committee was set up, right? After the interministerial committee was set up, so they have thought of, the social media intermediaries thought of going for self-regulation. And for self-regulation, what they have done, that individuals, if they find something offending in their platform, the individuals can report it, right? Individuals can report it to the social media platform itself, right? To the social media platform itself initially. So they will report it to the social media platform initially. After they have reported to the social media platform, later on, if, let's say, that individual is not able to resolve it, then they can, let's say, seek escalation of that particular issue to a higher level committee, which is, let's say, self-regulatory body of the social media. And after then, even if the user is dissatisfied, then they can approach the interministerial committee. But author says that, in this case also, the government of India is trying to have more grip on the internet space. They are trying to, let's say, curb free speech. They are trying to build narratives, and that's why author over here says, that's why the debate on this particular thing, on this particular project is missing. Which Char Dham project it is missing, means like environmental clearance related things is missing, and also the fault in the implementation of the project, these things are missing, right? So this is the thing. Why? Because in this article the author categorically says, because the media has a partisan relationship with the parties that are in power. So since they have partisan relationship with the parties at power, so the debate around this particular issue is missing, right? Is, let's say, skewed to a particular direction. So this is the thing. So finally the author says the engine of censorship has been overhauled for the digital age as the Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill shows, right? So with this we are going to move to another topic quickly. This topic is again important. It says fleet electrification to tackle urban pollution. This is a very, very good article. It is related to environment and ecology, but like there are topics related to Indian economy also. So we are going to discuss this topic quickly. Name of the topic is fleet electrification to tackle urban pollution. Fleet electrification to tackle urban pollution. So we are going to discuss about this. So in this article the author discusses about one most important aspect, the aspect of pollution, in the air. So basically here the main idea is we are talking about air pollution. And why air pollution is caused? It is caused because of the presence of some dominant pollutants. One of the pollutant is PM 2.5. So in this article the author has discussed that PM 2.5 and PM 10 pollution and PM 10 pollution. What do we mean by PM? PM stands for particulate matter. Particulate matter means like these are very small size particles that are let's say like suspended in the air. When we inhale, let's say like it affects our lungs, it affects our respiratory system. So that's why it is said, like there have been research that those people who reside in Delhi from their childhood, so they will be losing about 11.3 years of their life because of pollution. Means like their life expectancy is going to go down because of air pollution. So in this article the main idea that is discussed is of air pollution and how air pollution is caused. Here the author has said that to understand this particular thing we need to understand about two research studies that were conducted. One of the research studies was related to urban emission that was conducted in 2015. Okay, so research was done related to this. One of the research is related to urban emission. So this urban emission research was done in 2015, and second is TERI, the Energy and Resources Institute study. So they have done a study, and so this study was done in 2018. So both this study revealed that presence of particulate matter 2.5 and PM 10, they cause air pollution. And how these particular matter are emitted? They are emitted primarily by few sources. One of the source of pollution, if we talk about one of the source of pollution is so we are going to discuss about sources of pollution. One of the source of pollution is transport sector, and second is construction sector. The transport sector, from transport sector, the trucks are the ones that cause maximum amount of release of PM 2.5 and PM 10. So that's why we need to move these trucks from fossil fuel based to electric vehicles. So author says that these transport vehicles, basically the trucks that are diesel operated trucks, these diesel operated trucks are responsible for emission of PM 2.5 and PM 10. So we need to shift them to e-vehicles. And in this article the author has given example that about 7,000, right, some number of trucks are being imported by government of India. So 7,700 7,700 e-trucks, right? 7,750 e-trucks are being channeled. I mean, like government of India wants to import these many trucks, and these trucks are going to remove, right, huge amount of PM 2.5 and PM 8. So 800 billion liters of diesel will be let's say like saved because of import of these many trucks in India. So it is going to reduce the air pollution. As of now, most of the trucks that are operating, trucks are basically for the purpose of carriage of goods, right? Carriage of goods. So 80% of the carriage of goods are being done by the trucks. Government of India has already electrified the trains that carry the goods, okay, freight trains. So freight trains are already electrified. Since freight trains are already electrified, so what has happened? Because of which the pollution level has gone down, because like they have already electrified. But when we talk about trucks, we need to have e-trucks so that we can address the issue of air pollution. So this is one suggestion. When we talk about the construction sector needs to be, let's say, the issue of air pollution from construction sector needs to be addressed, and for which many state governments in like many places, what the construction companies have started doing, instead of using the cement and all, they use the bricks that are made in the factories. These bricks are little different. I mean, normal bricks that we have, they are different, and the bricks that they are using, they are of concrete. So those concrete, they cause less air pollution, and they will be able to sustain for long time duration. So that's the thing. Construction sector also needs some kind of overhaul. In this article, basically the author has focused on the e-trucks, focused on the fleet vehicles that are causing air pollution. So author says like we can notify green freight corridors. What we can notify? We can notify green freight corridors. What do we mean by this? Green freight corridors. What do we mean by green freight corridors? Green freight corridors are those corridors where only electric vehicles will be allowed to move. These are roads. Basically, these are stretches of long roads, maybe highways, where only electric vehicles will be able to, let's say, ply through. They'll be able to move. So they are known as green freight corridors, right? Electric vehicles, or maybe electricity, anything that is operated on electricity, not the diesel things. This is also going to give a message to the entire world, to India, that we need to have more e-trucks, e-vehicles. E-vehicles have the potential of reducing the air pollution. But when we talk about e-trucks, when we want to have more number of e-trucks, we need to have charging stations. Creation of charging station needs charging infrastructure to be created in India, and that's going to be capital intensive, and it's going to take time as well. So many of the buses, right, like most of the buses that are plying in Delhi or in other states also, so they have shifted to e-buses. In Delhi, buses have been converted to e-buses. So that's the thing. So we are actually addressing this particular issue, but author says more needs to be done. Author says the focus must extend to diesel trucks and dust mitigation. So diesel trucks must be, let's say, phased out, and electric trucks, right, the trucks that are operating on electric vehicle, that needs to be used. So this is the thing in this article basically. So with this, we are going to see a question on this topic. Very, very simple question. It says adoption of electrification of fleets can play significant role in reducing the greenhouse gas emission. This is a correct statement. Then fleet electrification refers to the process of replacing fleets of traditional gasoline powered or diesel powered vehicles with electric vehicles. Both are correct. Both these statements are correct. So correct answer would be option C. Read this statement once again if you don't understand it in one go. Adoption of electric vehicle fleets can play significant role in reducing greenhouse gas emission. This is right? So we want to reduce the GHG emission. Second, fleet electrification refers to the process of replacing fleet of traditional gasoline powered or diesel powered vehicles with electric vehicle. Simple statements, both these statements are correct, and correct answer is option C. With this, we will move to another topic quickly. It says, molding the Himalayas need caution. This topic is again related to the, let's say, ongoing effort to rescue people. So, like, there is a tunnel. So, we have just named that particular tunnel. So what? Okay. Yeah. Silkyara, SILKYARA. Silkyara, or this is let's say like Silkyara in Uttarakhand. A tunnel near Silkyara is the name of a place, right? So right. So here a tunnel was being created and like people got stranded because like it collapsed, right? And rescue effort is being done. And this particular tunnel which we are talking about, it is part of a Char Dham project. It's part of Char Dham project. Since it is a part of Char Dham project, so what is happening here? The thing is, Char Dham project is not a small project. It's a big project of the government of India that wants to reduce the time to travel, right? For Char Dham Yatra, basically, like, so people want to go for pilgrimage in Uttarakhand, right? So it is a religious pilgrimage of Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath and Kedarnath. So what are the places? One of the places, Gangotri, second, Yamunotri, okay, Gangotri, Yamunotri, then Badrinath, and fourth is Kedarnath.
I think it includes Rameshwaram.
That's a big thing. That's a big Char Dham. But like here also in Uttarakhand, we have another one, Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath, Kedarnath. So there itself it is also known as Char Dham. But for Hindus, for religious purposes, so one of them is I think in Odisha, Jagannath temple. Then one is in South India somewhere, Rameshwaram. So I think Kedarnath is one of them. Badrinath is also there. But this particular project that that was being established by the government is related to Char Dham Yatra in Uttarakhand, right? So National Highway Authority of India is creating this particular thing. But author says that the larger picture that is missing is like the Indian Himalayan region needs this environmental impact assessment so that we can understand what is the carrying capacity of it. Supreme Court of India has also told the Government of India to conduct a carrying capacity study. But Government of India has delegated it to the state governments. And the state governments have delegated to the chief secretaries. And the chief secretaries, I mean, they are being bureaucrat, they are themselves busy. So the Indian Himalayan region, I mean, this thing has not yet been carried. So we not only need to understand that how many people can sustain in the Himalayan region, but we also need to understand about what different kind of projects can be sustained by Indian Himalayan region. Like presently many projects are being run. What are the projects? One of the project is, let's say hydroelectricity projects are being run, tunnels are being made, factories are being made. So how many of them can be supported? So author over here says that we need to conduct a single environmental impact assessment for this Char Dham Yatra project that stretches about 900 kilometers. But what the government has done, they have broken this particular project into 53 sections. And after breaking this into 53 sections, making it smaller, they have conducted environmental impact assessment for some of the sections, but not for all the sections. Author says there should be a single unified environmental impact assessment of the Char Dham project itself, so that, right, the authorities, people can understand what can be its impact, right? This is the thing. So author says the Supreme Court of India has said that there should be a carrying capacity study. There should be a study of carrying capacity in the Indian Himalayan region. But that study has not been concluded by the different government, different state governments. there were many organizations that were part of it. For example, there is a institute like of Himalayan region, some name. So Wadia Institute of like Himalayas, something like that. So that is there. So Bombay Natural History Society. So many such organizations are part of that particular study, but that study has not yet been concluded. Okay, so proper report is not yet available. So that's why author says that we need to conduct a carrying capacity study of the Indian Himalayan region. There are many states, around 12 states are part of Indian Himalayan region, and those states receive extra funding from the government. Government of India has identified those states as special category states. So whenever Government of India implements any centrally sponsored scheme, so Government of India provides 90% of the funding. Only 10% is to be contributed by the Himalayan states. But in case of other normal states, government pays 60% and the state government pays 40%. So Indian Himalayan region, these states get more funding. But the thing is, we need to be aware about the capacity of the Indian Himalayan region. In this article, the author says that Indian Himalayas, it is a new mountain range. Since it is a new mountain range, so mountain is still evolving. It has not settled, it is still evolving. And lot of seismic activities are seen time and again. Recently, we have seen earthquake in Nepal, right? So frequency of earthquake in Nepal is very high. I mean, like, it keeps on happening. So like if we talk about Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, lot of seismic activity keeps on happening. And now if we constitute these projects without doing much studies, without understanding about much, let's say, like, dangers or hazard related to this, so they may be failure at a later point of time. So we need to do proper study, right? Proper departments must be, let's say, involved in this particular thing, so that a proper study is done. And here the authors say that, like, from this particular region, Silkaira, only few kilometers away there is a fault line where the likelihood of coming earthquake is very high. Okay, so that's why we need to be cautious about, let's say, any environment, any project that we are doing in the fragile regions. Projects are for good purposes, no doubt, but you need to build those projects in those places, like, that are sustainable, that are, let's say, hazard free. But this region is hazard prone region. Okay, this is the thing. So here they have talked about safety protocols, like, there is a company in this article, they have discussed that company is involved in some kind of project, but that company makes it sure that before sending any laborer, they do a thorough study whether it is safe for the people to go and work. After proper checks and balances, only then they send the laborers to work. So they say, like, similar like standard procedures may be adopted by those authorities, those companies that are involved in this kind of project also, right? So this is the thing. So this article is good. The article, let's say, shares some other perspective. Now this topic is very, very important from society, from social justice point of view. It says femicides at a 20-year peak across globe. What do we mean by femicides? Femicides means female deaths. Femicides means female deaths or killing. Female deaths or female killing. So in this article they have discussed about, like, what is the number of females that are dying. So globally studies have been conducted. The organization that has conducted this study, it is known as United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes and UN Women, right? These two organizations, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and UN Women, they have done a study, and according to their study, in 2022 alone, more number of femicides has happened globally as compared to last 20 years. Means last 20 years data they have seen. In 2000, in the year of 2000, around 86,000, little less than 86,000 femicides has happened. But in 2022, this has increased by 88,900. Means 88,900 women have been killed, right? They have been killed by their, generally, the male counterparts. So it's not always the husband, it may be a intimate relationship, or it may be family members. So this is female deaths or femicides has happened. The number is very high. This is one, let's say one of the graph, the chart 1. Chart 2 shows male and female share of homicide victims. Homicide means when one human being kills another human being. So here men, 80% of the men, right, and 20% of women are killed because of homicide. This is the thing. And among men's, like general victims of homicide worldwide tend to be men and boys. Then there is another chart. This chart showcases the intimate partner or family related homicide among all female and male homicides. Means whatever number of homicide happens in male and female, so how many of them are carried out by family members or intimate partners? In case of women it is 55%, in case of men it is 12%. Okay, this is the thing. And so they have given multiple charts related to it, and this particular chart, which is chart 4, it showcases the female partner family related homicide as percentage of all female homicide, male partner family related homicide as percentage of all homicides across different continents in the world. For example, they have talked about Africa, America, Asia, Europe, Oceania. So in Africa, 59% female homicide, right, and 9% male homicide. So the thing is, proportion of female homicide as compared to male homicide is very high, right? And last, the chart shows number of gender related deaths in India between 2016 and 21. 5 years data from India means female gender related deaths in India. What are the causes? One of the causes, honor killing. For example, there is a family and let's say there is a daughter in the family. That daughter happened to, let's say, happened to love someone from other caste, other religion, or other social status. In that case, like if they kill, the family members kill the girl child, that is known as honor killing. So honor killings happen, murder related to witchcraft accusation, murders related to dowry motives, dowry deaths. So among them, dowry deaths has been the highest. Dowry deaths from 2016 to 2021 has been highest. And second thing is murder related to witchcraft or murder related to dowry motives. So that they are also high, right? Honor killings are relatively very low, but honor killings are also not good. I mean, like killing is in general not good. So this is the thing. So this article showcases the number. We can remember the name of two organizations. United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. This is one organization. Then UN Women. These are the two organizations that we should learn about. This organization has released data related to killing or homicide. Now another article, this article says, why is Bihar demanding the special category status? Recently, the Bihar government, the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar led cabinet, they passed a resolution, right, for seeking a grant of a special category status to Bihar. As of now, Bihar is not considered to be a special category status. So which states are granted a special category status, we are going to understand in this article. We are also going to understand about what is the criteria of selecting a state as a special category state. So there are 5 criteria for selecting a state as a special category state. These criteria are mentioned in this article itself. So we are going to understand about those factors and why the state governments are demanding this particular thing. Okay, so all of this is mentioned. So what are the 5 categories? 5 factors such as number 1, hilly and difficult terrain. So those states that are in hilly places that have difficult terrain, so those states are categorized as special category states. So most of the northeastern states are part of special category states, and even Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, they are also a special category state. Then Sikkim is also a special category state, but Bihar is not yet given this particular thing because they do not have hilly or difficult terrain. This is the thing. Then second category is low population density and or sizable share of tribal population. If they have a low population density or they have a huge proportion of tribal population there, so that can be a criteria. Third, strategic location along international borders.
Yes.
Right, that's the thing. Fourth, economic and infrastructural backwardness. So fifth, non-viable nature of state finances are considered before granting special category states. Right. So out of these 5 categories, only one thing is not fulfilled by state government of Bihar. That is hilly and difficult terrain. It does not have hilly or difficult terrain. It is on a plain. That's the thing.
Sir, one thing. Sir, if you talk about low population density, I don't think it is also mitigated, right?
Yeah, it does not meet that. Yeah, they have high population density in this state, right? So in this article, however, they have mentioned that they have they don't have this thing, which is the primary reason for giving a special category thing status. So in 1969, 3 states, Jammu and Kashmir, Assam and Nagaland, were granted a special category status. After then 8 more states, right? Initially 3 states, then 8 more states. That makes 11 states. So these are Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Sikkim, Tripura, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. They were given a special category states category by erstwhile National Development Council. Right, so National Development Council has given the special category status to these 11 states so far. Apart from this, what are the benefits that are attached with the special category status? One of the benefits that I discussed, that these states, special category states, receive 90% funding from the central government in case any centrally sponsored scheme is to be implemented, and 10% is to be contributed by the state government. In case of other states, 60% is contributed by the central government and 40% by the state government. But in some cases, 80-20 ratio is there. Okay, so this is one of the benefit for the states to get a special category status. Apart from this, there are other thing also, which is earmarked nearly 30% of the total central assistance for states to special category states. Means if central government wants to give some money to the states in general, out of the total money that it will give to the states, 30% of it will generally go to the special category states.
As a form of, in the form of grants.
Yeah, in the form of grants. So the special category states receive more money from the government. So that's why they want it. So there was a formula that was given, which is Gadgil-Mukherjee formula. So they have earmarked this particular thing. However, a planning commission has been abolished.
Yes.
Now we have Niti Aayog. Planning commission has made 12 5-year plans since independence. After independence, I mean we have created planning commission. So 12 5-year plans have been done after the Niti Aayog came. Niti Aayog was asked to give a 15-year medium term plan to the government, and it was asked to give 3 years, let's say that is medium term plan is known as perspective plan. Then it was also asked to give 3 years plan to the government. So as of now, it gives 3 years plan to the government, but that is not let's say aligned with the 5-year planning that the government used to do. So now here, finance commission, when we talk about finance commission, so far we had 14th finance commission, 15th finance commission. Finance commission recommends to the central government what proportion of the total money that the central government receives from different taxation should be given to the state government, right? Earlier it was 40%, then it was made 42%, then it was made 41%, right? So that's the thing. Now we are going to have a 16th finance commission. So we still need to see that what the 16th finance commission says in this regard, right? So why Bihar is demanding? Because of many factors. Number one factor is Bihar has huge amount of people, huge number of people who are below poverty level. So they belong to special category. Recently they have conducted a socio-economic and caste census. So in that caste census, they have identified around 86% of the population in Bihar. They belong to extremely backward classes and other backward classes and scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Means all the reserved categories, they have 86% of the population. And Bihar government, they have lesser development as compared to any other state. In Bihar, the educational attainment is very low among people. So that's why they are demanding for special category status. So do other states also want a special category status? Yes, Andhra Pradesh has asked for it, Telangana has asked for it, additionally Odisha has also been requesting. So many states are requesting a special category status so far. This article is very good from Indian polity point of view. Okay, it's good from Indian polity and economy point of view. You need to read this article once again to understand what are socio-economic disadvantages in these states for which they are demanding a special category status. That's the thing. So we have another topic. This
What
topic.
can be the way forward if the demand of the Bihar government is not met? Then what can be the way forward?
So he is asking if the demand of the Bihar government is not met, what can be the way forward? See, the demand from the Bihar government has just come. There are other states also that are demanding it for a long time. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, they are demanding, citing their own reasons. Every other state government demands it. But the thing is, there should be political willingness from the central government. The moment central government has its own party in one of these states in power, it will be implemented. This is what I am saying, means like, this can be one of the political thing. Although there are genuine reasons for these states to demand for it, but like how soon these demand will be met, it is to be seen. Like these are political willingness. I mean, like, before every general election, the central government announces some schemes that benefit the larger masses, right? Before every state election, the outgoing state government announces some of the schemes that are beneficial to the people of that state. So that's why the election cycle is also important, right? And so these are some political things, but the thing is like when a government comes into power, so they may think of getting some important things implemented. Okay, means political decision has to be taken. That's the thing. Otherwise, the state government of Bihar is running, I mean, like, they are not devoid of oxygen. So they have the resources, they are running, but the thing is, like, it will provide more resources at their disposal. That's the thing. So we have another topic. It says DAOs. What is DAO? It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. How these decentralized entities are shaping the future of digital world. So we need to understand about decentralized autonomous organizations. What are they? Decentralized autonomous organizations are those organizations that are working in the domain of technology advancement. Okay, they are working in the domain of technology advancements. For example, the cryptography related platforms. Okay, the platforms where cryptocurrencies, right? Cryptocurrencies are traded. Right. So these decentralized autonomous organizations are those organizations that are owned collectively by people from different parts of the world. It is not owned by any particular central authority. It is not owned by any big businessman. It is owned by a group of people who are collectively working in these, who are members of this decentralized autonomous organization. So its ownership is held by the people at large who are part of these organizations. This is one part. Apart from this, the rules that they make, these rules are very transparent. The rules that they make, right? For example, the rules related to lending, right? The rules related to lending, borrowing and all. So these rules are transparent. Transparent in the sense they are trustworthy. Okay. Second aspect is whatever changes they make, these changes are, whatever records are, let's say, they are known as immutable. So I'm going to make you understand. Let's say there is a platform which is a cryptocurrency platform. So in this platform, people do transaction in cryptocurrency. If you want to borrow money, you can borrow money from these platforms directly. The platform will lend you money and it has rules. These rules are codified by the members at large. These rules are very transparent. These rules are, let's say, like, implemented, right? Over here, what happens? Any record that is entered in this platform, these records are immutable. Means once a record is entered, This record can never be deleted, it can never be edited. If they want to edit, there should be consensus of the members of the platform. So the thing is, they are very much trustworthy. They are not, let's say, like, they are not working on the willingness of one individual who owns an authority like that. In case of central authorities, central governments, for example, if we talk about the government of India, so the central government is headed by Prime Minister Modi, right? Maybe in future some other government may come. So anyone who is the Prime Minister, he generally dominates all the right institutions. Dominates, I mean, like, they have the influencing capacity. So they shape the structure, they shape the stability of the institution with their policy, long-term policy. And it is rightly so, because people elect them to the power. That's the thing. But in case of decentralized things, what they do, they don't need any central authority. One thing, they are posing challenges also to the central authorities, because somehow they are challenging the central governments, central authorities. On the other side, they are also enabling the trustworthiness of the digital platforms. So in this article, they have talked about these decentralized, let's say, autonomous organizations, and how these decentralized autonomous organizations are working. So they have given 4 points to highlight this. So they are working on several principles. One of the principles says they are decentralizing entities, shifting power away from the centralized authorities and placing it firmly in the hands of the collective. Decision making within DAOs become a democratic process where token holders have a direct say, resulting in a more equitable distribution of influence. For instance, in a DAO governed community driven project, contributors worldwide can participate in shaping its direction, diminishing the dominance of a single central entity. This is one aspect. This is one key principle of the decentralized authority, decentralized autonomous organization. Other principle is transparency and trust are fundamental tenets of decentralized autonomous organizations. Smart contracts that underpin DAO operations are transparent and immutable, fostering trust among participants. Okay, smart contracts means contracts that are made on blockchain technology, means like contracts are self-executing contracts and they are made on blockchain technology, and these contracts are so well that this actually fosters kind of trust among the members, right, of the platform. So rules are predefined and require consensus for alteration, minimizing the need for intermediaries. This transparency can potentially disrupt traditional industries by eliminating the opacity often associated with centralized organization. So this is the second principle. If we talk about the third principle of decentralized autonomous organizations, they are DAOs champion inclusivity, democratizing access to resources and opportunities. They transcend geographical and socio-economic barriers, enabling global participation. So the thing is, here anyone from around the world can participate. So they are inclusive in nature. Since they are inclusive, so like this is also a key principle of this these organizations. This inclusivity not only promotes diversity but also fuels innovation, as individuals from various backgrounds collaborate to create innovative solutions. So this is third principle of decentralized autonomous organization. Then fourth principle, DAOs inspire new forms of collaboration. They facilitate global cooperation, allowing participants with shared goals to unite without the need for intermediaries. This dynamic environment fosters innovation and cooperation as ideas flow freely, unencumbered by hierarchical structures. Together, these principles underscore the transformative potential of DAOs, paving the way for a more decentralized, equitable, and collaborative digital future. So these are the 4 principles on which the decentralized autonomous organizations are working. So basically, these organizations are software based, they are on digital platforms, and they are also involved in lending of money to the let's say like participants of the platform. So this is a, let's say, new initiative, and we need to see how it is going to shape, let's say, like a new domain.
Sir, is there any example of it in India?
In India as of now, I mean, no example has been given over here, but like, they have given an example of Ethereum platform. Ethereum is for, let's say, not Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Bitcoin itself is a cryptocurrency, right? So Ethereum is a platform where, let's say, like, people participate in doing transaction and all. So here, this is this is a good topic, decentralized autonomous organization. New topic. Maybe a question may come in UPSC, but like, more needs to be known. So many things may come related to this.
So how they put a challenge against the government?
Basically, like the central government in India, if we talk about, we have the Reserve Bank of India, which regulates all the banks in India. Scheduled commercial banks, private banks, government banks, foreign banks. It regulates all the banks in India. So these banks are going to function like, as per the regulation of the RBI, right? So they have a structured mechanism of functioning. But if we talk about decentralized organization, these banks are involved in the lending and borrowing business basically. The decentralized autonomous organizations are also involved in lending and borrowing, right? Means something which is known as decentralized finance. Means you can borrow from there, you can repay to them, you don't need any intermediary, you don't need to go to a bank. So people will lend to you collectively like that. So that's a new way, new paradigm that is emerging. Okay, so this is the thing. So now we have another topic. Yesterday it was the Constitution Day, I would say, like, on 26th of November 1949, the Constitution of India was adopted, right? So like it was enacted, I would say. So the President of India, Miss Draupadi Murmu, and the Chief Justice of India, they met together, they discussed about how let's say, like, the Constitution of India is performing, how, I mean, like, it is being like, it is fostering the trust among the citizens. So over here, the President of India has talked about that there should be all India judicial services. All India judicial services can be created. And if we create all India judicial services, so people from different backgrounds can join the judiciary at different levels. And these people may be elevated to the higher post also. As of now, we do not have all India judicial services as of now. I mean, like, so different state judicial services are there. Means every state government conducts it. From there they go to the, let's say, like, initially they join district courts, then they are like, they are elevated or they are promoted to the high courts, and from high courts they are promoted to this thing. But if we have a all India judiciary services, that can be similar to the civil services examination, where anyone from the country can give exam, they can, let's say, like, join the services. So this is what has been called here. So this is the thing, okay. So President Draupadi Murmu called on for setting up of an all India judicial services as a way to ensure equal representation of India's diversity in the judiciary, stressing that the cause of justice was best served by making it accessible to all. So this is the thing. So this is a good call, I would say, but like the judiciary knows is best, like how it is going to influence, because like if we have a all India judicial services, maybe if government plays a role in it, so that's going to create problems. So that's the thing. Maybe, I mean, like, all India judicial services may be overseen by the courts itself. That way it will be good if it comes under the purview of the Supreme Court of India, let's say, to conduct the examination. Maybe they can get the examination conducted by UPSC, but they may have the overall say in this thing. So that will be a good thing. So now we have another thing, which is Modi to take part in World Climate Action Summit. So World Climate Action Summit is going to happen in Dubai, and the Conference of Parties to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is going to happen in Dubai. So the Prime Minister of India is going to participate there. And in this article, basically, they have talked about few important things, right? So I'm going to talk about those important things. Is that Government of India has earlier, right, in COP26 that happened in Glasgow, we have proposed Panchamrit. Okay, what we have proposed? We have proposed 5 specific targets for India. This is known as Panchamrit. What are these Panchamrits? One is let's say these consisted of, we want to, India wants to become a net zero carbon emitter by 2070. This is one of the target that we have set. The second target is committing at least 500 gigawatts of energy installation by 2030 to be from non-fossil fuel. Okay. First is net zero by 2070. Second, at least 500 gigawatts of energy to be sourced, right, from non-fossil fuel sources, right. Third, cutting carbon emission by 1 billion tons, reducing the intensity of the economy by 45%. This is another third. Then fourth is meeting half of its energy requirement from renewable energy by 2030. So there are 5 such targets. Okay, fourth is over here, fourth and fifth. So these will be some of these are overlapping with one another, but India has committed to these targets in COP26. But in COP27, what's going to happen? Because now the Global Stocktake Report is going to be released here. What is Global Stocktake Report? Basically, Paris Agreement that has been signed in 2015. So Paris Agreement had these provisions that all the countries will have intended nationally determined contributions. So countries will determine their own contribution themselves and they are going to implement on that. So the Stocktake Report is going to account that how these countries have committed and what portion of them, what proportion of the commitment has been achieved. So that will be accounted through Global Stocktake Report. It is accounting the environmental commitment of the countries. Means you have committed, but how much of you have achieved? That's going to be released here in COP. Okay. Yeah. It has to be released after 5 years, means in 2020. But that year we have seen COVID-19. 2021 also went into recovery phase. 2022 it could not happen. So now in 2023 they are going to have this thing. Okay. So this is the thing. So this is a good article because here we understood about Panchamrit, right? Then we have the last topic for the day. This is a very important topic. It says supply demand gap for pulses, oilseeds, fruits to persist over next 7 years report. Okay. So basically Government of India has released a report and this report has been released by the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development and Indian Council of Research on International Economic Relations. So these two organizations together has released a report and name of the report is Prospect of India's Demand and Supply for Agricultural Commodities towards 2023. This is the name of the report and this report has been released by these two organizations. So this report has talked about that what is the demand of agricultural commodities in Indian market and overseas. So they have given a table also. It talks about rice 2025 to 26 means food items, rice, wheat, coarse cereal, pulses. It's not important for us to go through this. What is important from this article is you understand about what are agricultural commodities, you understand about name of the report, you understand about which organizations are releasing this report. And also there is an organization which is known as the Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices. So this commission has said that we can raise the import duty whenever the price of agricultural commodity in the international market falls below the domestic price. If international market price is lower than the domestic price and if we allow it to import, then the domestic people, the farmers are going to face difficulty, right? So that's why the Commission for Agricultural Cost and Price has said that you can raise the import duty whenever the, let's say price of crude palm oil falls below $800 a ton to protect Indian producers. So that is all in this report, not much is there. So thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.